Welcome back, guys. Yes, I'm finally making the video I really wanted to make about the ponds. So like this downer portion of the land, we got it well later so that we can get water on the farm, because it had a small stream passing through it. And one time when we were working in that area, we blocked off a portion of that stream and it formed a puddle of water. Well, when I looked the puddle of water on this particular evening, it looked beautiful for me. So I thought, how about I just dig around and make it look like a pond of sorts. We did that, and this is a very fast way that it did appear. It did not look so nice, but it had some water accumulated. And water is just beautiful. When you look at it, it's just therapeutic. It looks nice. Water is amazing. Just the sound of it makes you feel fresh and alive. So looking at this, I felt that this looks a little bit small. How about we make a bigger one? So we did make a bigger one below, and just in a similar way, just blocked it off and all. So these two ponds, the way we made them, were just blocking off. Block off one section and then raise walls on the other side. This area is swampy, so we didn't really need to reinforce them with anything. But we face serious problems with these ponds. For any of you that is experienced with these sorts of ponds, you definitely know what I'm going to say first. When the rain came, it showed presence. It just destroyed the whole thing. It demolished one of the banks that holds back the water, and we replaced that, demolished it again, replaced it. So we just kept doing in turns. And I know some of you are thinking, but why don't you hire someone? Because they have no money. So I did read up a few things and increase the size of the bunker so that it's thicker. We also put more pipes so that in case it rained and the water increased, it would be able to take out most of the water. Because during the rain, the water literally doubles in amount. And this is a stream, so we constantly have water flowing through it. We've gone through a rainy season and we've not had any major problem. But then we have another problem. So the upper pond would slow the water and it would usually not be so clean. And this stretches across the road actually. So if you see from the other side, we have the pond, but on this upper side, we have some water still stuck here. And you can see that there is silt that is formed there. Yes, that was the second problem. I didn't put a silt trap. If you're collecting water from the road, road runoff, or water which usually moves a long distance, you should put silt traps. Something to just trap that soil and not mess up or fill up the pond. So this would work as a silt trap, and from time to time it fills. So every time it rains, we put it out. That one is easy to solve as long as we do the maintenance. But then, less obvious for me and very important for some of you to listen to, especially if you really want to do a pond, because I see many of the people advising how to make an earthen pond, and they tell you that get these sacks or polythenes of sorts and then pile soil in them, put them at the edge, and then let the water sink in. Those ponds don't last so long because after a short time the sacks break down and then that soil begins falling in. Now how this looks like is at the level where the water stops, that soil keeps collapsing and hits into the walls. And this is not beautiful at all. It makes the pond look really, really horrible and not nice. So to address this, I decided to just bring in piles of stones and then pile those stones at the edges like you see currently in the pond. This has been a recent development to improve our ponds. So we pile the stones all the way around. Now these stones cannot be eaten up by the soil and they are firm enough. And the sacks of soil are really away from the water, so we expect those to last a little bit longer. In the future, we hope to plant there a little bit of grass. So the ponds that you're seeing are not yet finished. We are still doing a few more things to make them look more beautiful, but I do love how they look like right now because we've gone through the process and then learned one or two things that we could add. So from this video, all I'm saying, if you're trapping water in a moving stream, ensure that you have a bunker to hold it back that is strong and rigid enough, but also have an outflow of water that is big enough to handle the volume of water during the rain, and have a silt trap. And finally, reinforce the walls. The reinforcement of the walls, not just with stones for us, but you could also consider planting some vegetation because that reinforces them and makes them a little bit stronger. This is what we've learned so far, but I'm putting up another pond at the topmost part of the hill. This is huge and massive. It's actually a daring type of pond. We are just getting started, and this is what it looks like so far. Wow, the rocks there are quite a number, but we are making some progress, and I'll share this when it's ready. Just subscribe and like so that when this video is ready for you, you can easily get the notification. And guys, please share a comment. I'm still putting up more ponds, and I would like to incorporate some of that feedback so that we do something nice. Thank you guys.